Welcome, my friends. Close your eyes for just a single moment, and listen to the quiet space between your thoughts. Let me take you on a journey to a mist-shrouded valley hidden deep within a vast forest of ancient, towering bamboo and silver birch trees. This village was world-renowned for making the most exquisite, pristine flutes, musical instruments whose melodies could perfectly mimic the morning birds and calm a restless mind. The master craftsmen of the valley spent their entire lives searching for the absolute perfect wood. They looked for timber that was completely straight, smooth, uniform, and entirely unblemished. These trees grew in the protected, sunny lowlands, shielded from every harsh wind and heavy storm. If a piece of timber brought to the workshops had a single knot, a dark weather streak, or a hairline fracture from the winter frost, it was immediately tossed into the fire as useless garbage. They believed that only absolute, untouched perfection could produce a sound worthy of being heard by the world. But at the very edge of the village, where the forest grew wild, dark, and unpredictable, lived an eccentric old woodcarver named Master Juro. While the other craftsmen searched the safe, pampered lowlands, Juro did the exact opposite. He would pack his old canvas bag and climb the highest, most dangerous mountain ridges during intense summer storms. He went looking for the trees that bore the raw brunt of the wilderness. He actively sought out the wood that had been split open by lightning, bent double by freezing blizzards, or deeply scarred by the elements. To Juro, a tree that survived the mountaintop wasn't damaged, it was seasoned. His small workshop didn't look like a palace of pristine art, it looked like a quiet sanctuary for the broken, the weathered, and the forgotten. The young apprentices from the village would walk past his open window, look at his pile of twisted, scarred logs, and laugh silently among themselves. They would hold up their perfectly white, smooth bamboo tubes, gleaming in the sunlight, and boast about how flawless their instruments were. They told Juro he was wasting his failing strength on dead, ruined wood that belonged in the furnace. Juro never argued. He would simply smile, run his rough, calloused thumb over the deep, charred line left by a lightning strike, and whisper, "This one has a lot to say." For months, Juro worked in complete, solitary isolation under the dim light of a single oil lamp. He chose a specific piece of wood for his masterpiece, a branch that had been deeply fractured by a severe winter freeze years ago, leaving a jagged, hollow groove down its side. Instead of trying to sand away the crack, cut around it, or hide it beneath heavy coats of dark lacquer, Juro chose to carve directly through it. He measured the depth of the wound with absolute patience, using the natural hollows left by the tree's internal struggle to carefully shape the inner air chambers of the flute. Every single cut of his knife respected the blemish, turning the deepest scar into the very structural center of the instrument's airway. He worked slowly, allowing the natural twists of the wood to dictate the shape of the flute, creating an instrument that looked more like a piece of weathered mountain rock than a traditional musical piece. Then came the night of the Autumn Solstice, the grand festival where all the craftsmen gathered to play their creations before the entire province. The air was crisp, and a massive bonfire crackled in the center of the village square, casting long shadows against the ancient trees. The premier craftsman of the village stepped forward first, lifting a flute that shone like polished silver under the moonlight, completely uniform and blindingly perfect. He blew into it, and the sound that came out was undeniably precise, sharp, clean, and exact. It perfectly hit every single note on the scale. But as the melody went on, a strange, heavy coldness settled over the crowd. The music was technically flawless, yet it felt entirely empty, like a beautiful, grand palace with no one living inside it. It lacked a pulse. It had no warmth, because the wood it came from had never known a single day of hardship. Then, it was Juro's turn. He stepped slowly into the warm firelight, his old bones aching, holding a dark, twisted flute with a visible, uneven knot and that deep, exposed scar running down its spine. A loud murmur of disbelief and mocking laughter rippled through the audience. The young apprentices shook their heads, wondering how such a broken piece of wood could possibly compete with absolute perfection. Juro simply closed his eyes, lifted the scarred instrument to his lips, and let out his very first breath. The sound that erupted didn't just fill the air, it pierced straight through the chests of every single human being standing in the valley. It was a melody of profound, haunting depth. It carried the terrifying roar of the midnight wind, the heavy rumble of thunder, and the quiet, triumphant warmth of the morning sun breaking through winter clouds. It wasn't just music, it was the raw, beautiful sound of survival. It was a song that knew exactly what it meant to be broken, and exactly what it meant to heal. Tears began to stream down the faces of the village elders, and the mocking laughter died into an absolute, breathless silence. The pristine, untouched flutes could only play notes, but Juro's scarred flute could tell a story. It possessed a soul, because the wood itself had actually lived through the storm and remembered the fire. My beautiful friends, let us share a quiet, honest guftugu about this truth tonight. I want you to take a long look at your own life through the lens of that scarred flute. You are exhausting your precious spirit trying to present a flawless, unblemished version of yourself to the world. You hide your deep anxieties, you mask your past failures, and you feel a secret, heavy shame for the ways life has broken, bruised, or altered you. You look at the people online who seem to have perfectly smooth, unbothered lives, and you wonder why your canvas is so messy. But the universe does not make deep music with things that have never felt the weight of the wind. Your struggles, your heartbreaks, and the moments you were bent double by the cold seasons of your life are not your ruin. They are your resonance. It is precisely through the cracks in your story that your deepest empathy, your truest wisdom, and your most beautiful, magnetic strength will flow out to help a hurting world. A person who has never been broken can offer advice, but only a person who has survived the storm can offer true comfort. Stop trying to be perfectly hollow. Embrace the knots, the twists, and the scars that make you uniquely, beautifully you. The things that look completely flawless from the outside often have nothing to say, because they have never had to fight to survive. You are a living, breathing masterpiece in progress, carved by the very hands of experience. So, as you lay your head down on your pillow tonight, let go of the exhausting pressure to look perfect. Breathe in the absolute peace of knowing that your scars do not make you damaged, they make you profoundly deep, real, and powerful. Take a slow, deep breath, close your eyes, and rest with a completely tranquil heart. Thank you for walking this path with us tonight. If your soul found a home in these words, ensure you are subscribed so we can continue sharing these quiet journeys together. Take care of your beautiful spirit, protect your peace, and until our paths cross again, peace be upon you.